Good morning. So, some of you probably recognize this, okay? You call it a notebook. Some people call it a journal. Some people call it a diary. Well, for me, honestly, everyone, I'm very familiar with this particular one because as you can see, I have a whole bunch of these. And I think I'm missing one that I forgot to get from my room. But I can tell you right now that journaling has been a major, major part of my life. If anything, journaling has been a way for me to kind of write my own little autobiography. So as you can see, I got a whole bunch. The only ones that aren't really filled up right now is this one. This is a brand new one that I got from Barnes and Noble. And this one, which I record any quotes or any ideas or thoughts that come to me. And this one, which hasn't been completely filled up yet. Okay, I actually got this one from, I think, Books a Million. But either way, as you can see here, I have a whole bunch of journals. So, what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is journaling, what it did for me, and what lessons did I learn simply from writing in a journal. For as long as I can remember, even when I was a little girl, I had trouble communicating with people. I would later find out that it was due to me being autistic, which I still am today. I show all the signs, but I haven't had an official diagnosis. But I do believe that I am autistic. But I remember as a little girl that I literally could not communicate with people. All I could do was just point, gesture, or make certain faces in order to communicate to somebody that, hey, I wanted this item, or I wanted that item, or I just, I didn't like what was going on. Because of this, if something really, really bothered me, I felt like I couldn't really talk to anyone, not even a trusted adult. Because growing up, nearly every school that I went to, my mother was there. She was either working there or she had a lot of influence there. In fact, I would say that she entered the school systems just because I had a hard time communicating. And I was in one of the special education classes, so to speak. But the point is, because I couldn't communicate properly and because I couldn't articulate myself properly, since I'm doing it right now, this led me to pretty much being isolated and ostracized from a lot of other kids because they could sense that I was different. I was built different, I communicated differently, and I mostly just kept to myself. So, this introduced a lot of problems. And I found out that the only way that I could deal with my problems was by writing them down. Writing was my first form of communication, my first form of clear communication. Because without this and a pen or a pencil, good luck telling everybody else what I wanted and what I wanted. If I had any issues, any problems that I felt were affecting me, and I felt like that I couldn't tell anybody them because I couldn't trust anyone, or because I observed a lot of people and I'm still an observer today, I watch people. But if I determined that this person wasn't really comfortable enough, didn't make me feel comfortable enough to talk to, I would write it in here. My journals are filled with all of my thoughts, all of my issues, all of the stuff that I was experiencing in my life. All of these are recorded within the pages of each of these journals that I just showed you at the start of this video. I would keep doing this for about all the way up until now, honestly. Even after I graduated high school, even during high school, to be honest. After graduating high school, starting college, even all the way up until now. It didn't matter what the journal looked like to me. If it was even if it came from Dollar Tree, it didn't matter. within the pages of every single journal, that's where I found solace, I found solitude, and I found my safe space. Because within those pages, I could write down everything I was feeling and be able to just vocalize on each of those pages through the use of a pen or a pencil what I was feeling, how I felt about a situation, what were my thoughts about a situation, without any judgment, any conflict, or any opposition whatsoever. By journaling, this made me feel very, very safe. It made me feel like that I had a close friend or a close companion to talk to. So I just kept doing it. And I just kept recording anything and everything that kept happening to me. Because in here, within these pages, I was safe. I didn't have to I didn't have to face any opposition. I didn't have to face anyone telling me that what I was thinking was wrong. I didn't have to deal with people telling me that I was crazy, insane. One point, I was even told that I need to go to an asylum because I was that crazy. Most of it came from my parents, honestly, but that's an entire story within itself, which I will get to in a much later video. But journaling is where I felt safe. I could vocalize everything that was wrong with me without any judgment whatsoever. So I would keep doing this for years. And what I found from me simply writing everything down that went on in my head and in my heart, the first thing that I found out was it helped me deal with a lot of the differences and a lot of my issues concerning other people simply being distant with me or not liking me just because I was different. It helped me process these kinds of feelings a lot better because now that they were on these pages here, I could see them and I could figure out, okay, this is what I feel that everybody thinks about me. This is what I feel that people see when they see me. So now that it was out on the paper and not stuck up in here or in here, I could see it and I could figure out what I can do, even if it meant that I had to mask, which honestly I didn't like doing. But that's honestly for another discussion too. So, in a way, journaling made me handle my situations and issues and certain events in my life a lot easier. It helped me process all of my emotions and thoughts a lot easier. Now that it was written down in those pages and now that it was out of me, I could recover. I could heal a lot faster. Another thing that journaling taught me was it showed me how I saw the world differently than other people. Some people some people tend to look at things through surface level. Me, I have a tendency to dive deep, and I still do today, even at the age of 32. Okay? I still dive deep into things. So, me writing in a journal allowed me to just dive deep into certain issues, whether it was something like a certain trait about somebody that kind of bothered me or rubbed me the wrong way. It allowed me to just kind of unravel or figure out exactly what was wrong or what I thought was wrong with that person. And if I was either right about that person, right about my feelings about that person, or if I was completely wrong. It allowed me to just kind of see things differently, see the world differently, see other people differently, see how they really are versus just taking it at surface level and just going with it. Because, like I said before, I have a tendency to dive deep. Writing it down in a journal helped me just to see what that person was really like, how they really acted, what were they really thinking, based on what I've seen, based on everything that I've observed, or even if I spoke to them on the rare occasion that I spoke to them. How did I feel about this person? and if I was right. So that's another thing that journaling kind of taught me. I would say the last thing that journaling kind of taught me, to be specific, and this is a big one, and hopefully this is something that you can learn from this short video. Journaling taught me that everything that I was feeling, everything that I thought, felt, or figured out about a situation that I've written within these pages, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel upset about something, even if you don't deem it safe to share it with other people because you just don't trust that person or you don't feel safe around that person and you feel more safer just writing stuff down, like me. It made me realize that the emotions that I was feeling, the thoughts that I had in my head, pretty much everything that I was feeling was okay. There was nothing wrong with me. The, I just happened to see the world differently than other people. That didn't mean that I was weird or that I was crazy or that I was insane. That just means that I was different. I saw the world differently. I processed things differently. Maybe certain things that wouldn't really be a big issue to people, they are to me. And I realized just by writing it down that it's okay to feel like this. It's okay if you're upset about something. That doesn't mean it needs to be invalidated by other people just because they think it's not a big deal, but you do. That doesn't make your opinions or your thoughts about a certain situation or an issue um, irrational or crazy. You just see things differently. You process things differently. You feel differently than other people. And that was something, and that was probably the biggest lesson that I've learned through journaling, that it's okay to feel the way that I felt during those times. That it's okay if I was angry about the way something was said to me. If I was sad about a certain event that happened to me, or if I didn't feel anything at all, if I just felt completely neutral about a situation while everybody else was just in their feelings, it's okay. You are a human. You're allowed to feel certain emotions. And just because some of these emotions don't match up with other people's expectations or how they want you to feel, that doesn't make them any less valid than theirs. And that's something that I've learned just from writing. And I've always said this, even though I've mostly thought this, because again, I couldn't vocalize my thoughts or my feelings very well when I was a kid. But I've always thought this, and I still hold this true to this day. Writing is one of the cheapest forms of therapy, honestly. It doesn't cost a lot of money. All you need is some paper and a pen and yourself. And you can just write down exactly how you feel, what it is that you feel, how does it make you feel, what caused you to feel this way, and so on and so forth. And from then, you can heal. I've always said that writing is like the cheapest form of therapy. Maybe there are other options out there. But for me, writing is not even that expensive. And I can do it anytime that I wish. Even now, I still write. And I still got more journals to fill up, by the way. Like, like I said, I got like two more that I just showed you. So I'm still going to keep doing it because that's what helps me. And hopefully it'll help you guys too. So if you feel that you can't talk to somebody, or maybe it's very difficult for you to sit down and discuss your feelings with someone because maybe you don't feel comfortable in front of them, maybe you don't trust them, or maybe the environment that you're in doesn't feel safe to you, sometimes all you need is a journal, a pen, and a quiet spot to create your own safe, sacred space. Write your feelings in there. And then whenever you're ready, go back and look at them. You'll find out things about yourself that you didn't realize. You'll learn things about a situation that you didn't realize. You might even learn some things about people that you didn't realize, whether it be a certain pattern, certain character traits, certain demeanors, doesn't matter. You learn some things if you just write them down. If you don't feel safe vocalizing them, write them down. You learn things when you do this. So hopefully this little video helped you out, guys. I'm a writer, okay? I was gifted with this, so I'm going to keep writing. But hopefully this will motivate you guys to write as well, okay? So take the time out for yourself. Grab a journal, grab a notebook, even if it's from the nearest dollar store that you can find. Even if you find it covered in dust in the basement or the attic or something, just take it out, clean it off, and start. You can start at any time that you wish. Start writing. Start writing your thoughts and your emotions down. You might learn a thing or two about something, or about someone, or about yourself. Hopefully this video helped you guys. Hopefully this video gave you everything that you needed to learn. And yeah, I don't think there's much more I have to say, except just start. Okay? I hope and wish you guys the best on your journey. And I wish you guys a good day. Right? Peace.